How's it going? How's it going? Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burton. Hope everybody's doing great. First, give a shout out to my super producer, DJ Lab. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. How you?
Hey, man, I'm outstanding.
Another Thursday, right?
Another Thursday. Got a great show planned today. Now we're going to be asking that question. Why my child can't get a job after college?
Why they staying with me?
Oh, man, you know, and it's I think it's a real interesting topic. It's a real hot topic. I had the polls open this week, got some feedback, some responses and stuff, but want to kind of discuss the issue, get some of my reasons why, and also give some solutions. Okay. You know, for everybody to be kind of forward with that. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to my assistant Joni. She on the road to recovery and everything. Want to say, hey, Joni.
Hey, Johnny.
Also give a shout out to the Jones family, real good friend of mine, Wazera Reynolds. We all call him Rico. He passed on Sunday. Funeral gonna be sad, so we'll give a shout out to the Jones family. After I leave the show, I'm gonna go hang out with the family and everything. But Rico he's a well-known guy, real good brother. Mm-hmm. Be known him most of my life. He's gonna be very much missed, man. So again, shout out to the Jones family and everything. This week, we went to the Junior Olympics with my son, Christopher. Uh-oh. He tightened up out there, man.
He did.
He tightened up. Damn, he tightened up out there and everything. I'm proud of Chris for making it.
Right.
But he kind of tightened up under them bright lights and everything. His first throw, he scratched. I was like, okay, you'll be okay. Right. Shit, from there, man, it went downhill. It went down. Shit, every throw got worse. Everything. So, but shout out to Chris, for making it. This is Chris's third or fourth consecutive year making the Junior Olympics and stuff. Top 20 shot putter in the country. But this was one of them times, like I told him, man, look, proud of you for getting there. But on the flip side, just being real is real. Look, man, we didn't come up here to 10. Shit, we came here to compete and win. And everything, and he understood, but that was one of the things also I wanted just to reiterate to him. And anybody, when you get those chance like that in life where, the competition is more fierce and, the nerves are tighter, got to fight through it and everything. So it was a good life lesson for him. A good expenditure for me. Well, big shout out to Chris for doing that. Also, had open house today at the elementary school. That's always exciting. See all the teachers in their outfits and tattoos and everything. Because Mr. Burton don't shake hands. Mr. Burton give hugs.
Right.
Bear hugs. So shout out to all the teachers at Sewell Elementary. I tell you, boy, Clay Kobe hiring.
They be hiring.
Whoa. Hey, I don't know what this was not going on when I was at elementary.
They going to be well staffed.
Hey, like I told you, brother, shit, I remember them teachers with the Jerry curls, drinking that coffee, smoking their Newports.
Right.
That's what I remember. My first grade teacher, she smoked the Marlboros, had a raspy voice. I just remember her voice, cigars, coffee, and that damn ruler she used to pop us with.
Yeah.
But nothing like that today. Oh, no. Yeah, Mr. Burton love.
All inclusive now.
I love open house. So we had a good time. So shout out to the Clayco teachers. Also, very exciting time. Had my first official week of practice for my 9U team at Panhandle Park. Shout out to Panhandle. We had actually my team. We had a fundraiser. Give another shout out to my team, Mom Mimi. She set up the fundraiser. We was at the. And I should have talked about it last week. But we had a great turnout. The Zaxby on Tara Boulevard in Hampton, right by Lovejoy High School. That's where a lot of kids that come from my park go to Lovejoy High School. Man, we had a real good turnout out there. So shout out to my 9U Panhandle Park Gamecocks. started practice up and everything. And shout out to my assistant coaches, Mike Hurd and Carlos. I'm about to forget Carlos' last name. My God, Lord, don't beat me up and everything. But man, I got some good brothers that coach with me. We all been together about 7-8 years and everything and stuff. So my staff, I'm all on with a kid on the team. So I got some real genuine brothers. That's Carlos Benefield. You call him by first name to me forget his last name.
Right.
So much, but yeah, but man, solid brothers and everything. And but going into this week's show, again, we're talking about why my child can't get a job after college. And the reason why I want to do this show is because it's been a great debate with a lot of times people talking about student loan debt. A lot of times people, kids are going to college, they're getting these degrees. What's up, Trail? And they're coming out and they can't find employment with what they went to school for. And everybody got a whole range. It's the economy, it's this and that and everything. So I wanted to dive into it of things that what I've noticed and what I've observed. Because one thing about me, I'm a very proactive person. I'm not reactionary, and I'm not big on making excuses. So I wanted to tackle this subject, and give some information and also share some personal information about myself too regarding the subject. Again, this is Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. Lab had a real good point. When you see the notification button, hit that bell. So anytime we upload any kind of video, you guys can get a notification. So make sure you hit that bell, like, share, and subscribe to all the videos. Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. You know you're in the right spot once you see that blue silhouette on there and everything. But just to go into our subject, what we're talking about tonight, this is why your child can't get a job after college. I remember vividly when my son graduated from Vanderbilt. And what stuck with me was, I understood he was getting ready for, they just had the pro days and the combines, Matter of fact, it was just right after the draft because he didn't get drafted. But I remember going into it where his focus was immediately because he finished the previous November. So from that point forward, we were just getting ready for the pro days, the combines, and all that kind of stuff, the workouts for the pro teams. But what stuck with me with that, during the commencement, all the kids coming up, hey, upon graduation, I'm going to get ready to work for Coca-Cola. And we all talking about Vanderbilt. We're talking about the top 10 universities in the country, so I know it's a whole different hiring pool.
Right.
Concept's still the same. Just follow me with the story. But when I'm sitting there in the stands listening at the commencement, how many kids were saying, I'm getting ready to work at this firm? You definitely, GE, Pepsi-Cola, Coca-Cola, all Fortune 500 companies going for different firms and stuff like that. And it showed me, not necessarily that, they were just hooked up because they went to this school. What had happened was there were a lot of kids just being proactive. So, I just remember with my son being in college, of course he was restricted because he played football. So a lot of stuff he couldn't do because of the commitment his schedule with football, because I think he went on maybe one internship a year, and that was mostly through friends of mine or army buddies of mine and everything, because football guys, they don't have like a small little window right after spring practice that they can do that and then go from there. Whereas the average student, they have opportunities to do them anytime they want to.
Long, really, right?
All during the school year too.
Yeah.
To do it. You can do 4 or 5 internships just during a school year as a regular student, depending on what you're doing. It has to be long-term, internships or co-ops or nothing like that, but they had the opportunity to do that. But that stuck with me because, me and my son was talking right after he graduated, just like, I said, man, you think a lot of kids got hooked up? He said, nah, Dad. A lot of them just really just been doing a whole lot of stuff, during school and stuff, and just some of them been maybe at the same places for a year or two and everything. So that kind of stuck with me because, again, I understand what his situation was with the football, but just understanding what, what may be happening with a lot of students. Also, hearing a lot of parents, upon graduation, they looking, they can't find nothing, they sitting here, and then depending on the situation, a lot of kids, a couple months after graduation, what happened? Start paying them student loans.
Exactly.
So fast forward to now where you hear this big debate on, is college needed, how what we're going to do with the student loan debt, because the only thing you got to do is apply for it, everybody get it, right? Get a student loan. And I put a poll out to see, okay, what do you guys think? What do you think some of the reasons why kids can't get high at student loans? Man, it was all over the damn place. But three, just kind of go three that kind of stuck with me. One person put out there, no jobs available at a living wage.
Okay.
And kind of what my response with that is, I don't agree with that. I think it's we're talking about the college. We ain't talking about you want to work at Walmart or McDonald's and nothing like that and everything. You talking about somebody with a degree. So and we'll go into kind of situations with the show with that. But that was one of the things that kind of caught me with that. Just as far as finding someone with a living wage. One brother put on there just straight discrimination, which I feel like it is discrimination, but it's discrimination with hell every job. I mean, you talked last week, hell, we under 6 feet.
It's discriminating with that.
You want some real damn discrimination? Shit. Short man discrimination. Hell, ain't it?
Real hell.
You get it from the jobs, the women, the everything. Getting picked for the basketball team growing up, all kind of discrimination.
That's how we have to make our money, Tom, so we can stand on it.
There you go. Make up for it somehow. But so even with that, is that discrimination things get held you back? Absolutely. But is that something to hold you up? But again, when we go through all the subjects on the show today, I think it'll kind of enlighten a lot of people. One other thing, one person put, I thought was pretty funny. She said just because it's my child, whatever.
What?
Because it's my child. Why they couldn't get a job? Okay.
Okay, that's a question to the child, I guess.
I left that alone and everything. But what I do want to kind of talk about it, prior to start talking about some of the reasons and some of the solutions I want to give you, things I think people need to take in consideration prior to with their children going to college. 3 things I think people should consider just with you and your child prior to going to college. Now I think if you take these things in consideration, again, these are not reason solution, but if you take these things in consideration prior to your child going to college, it will help you in your trek with them going into college and also with their life after college. Okay, again, on subject night we're talking about why my child can't get a job after college. Okay. Some of the things to take in consideration before your child graduates. Number one is, are they trying to get a wanted degree? What do I mean by a wanted degree? Is that a degree that you feel like is in high demand? We start talking about there are certain things that they're always going to be a demand. You can look at the trends and market research to see what are some of the hot degrees. What are people looking for right now?
All right.
Is that the thing that they want to go get a degree for? Is there a need for it in your particular area? Will they have to relocate? Is it something that have to go abroad? Maybe have to go overseas for, and everything. When you start talking about maybe some of your, what are those? God, I just had off the top of my head. Just some of the polar research sciences and stuff like that. If you're interested in doing something like that, you may have to go to the polar ice caps, Antarctica, or something like that. Marine biologist or something, you have to go to maybe the coast or certain lakes to do it. It's not, if you're from the city, you more likely won't find a job doing that unless you're working in a zoo.
But even that requires you to go and do something like that so you'll know how to take care of those animals.
Exactly.
So it's not just going to be, I'm going to work at the zoo. If you go to the zoo, you're going to be sweeping up. You know, if you ain't done no intern like that.
Yeah, but even to that point, you don't know what damn, just say the zoo, nature preserve, you still got to travel. So these are just some of the things that we take consideration in terms of, even are you willing to locate? Just things to take. These are things I want you guys to take consideration before going to school and looking at it. Like I said, the first thing is it like a wanted degree? What is the demand for that particular degree? The second thing is that you and your child need to be open-minded and know that things may change and they may change their degree. It's nothing uncommon for a student to go to college, take 1 or 2 classes, and be like, I do not want to deal with this shit. Okay? That's nothing uncommon for people to go, and that to happen. Just take a class, you go in there, you want to be, an accounting major. You take this religious study class, wow, man, I like this, man. You know, boom, they into it. You go, I remember my son, he went to the van to be an engineer. And he didn't realize what hit him was more how competitive the school was. And he took this one damn, what's it called, those binary numbers, one of the programming class he had to take.
Yeah.
Shit, ran his ass right up, right to
That
the HR degree.
Because I was doing chemical engineer when I was going to be a chemical engineer. I said, yeah, I need to know how to be a chemical engineer. Got in that class right there. I said, nah, this ain't what I'm going to do.
Ran you up out of there, didn't he?
Slap up out of there.
And that's all, you know, and like I said, it's not uncommon, you know, and also just sometimes, you know, as you take other classes, like I said, they be totally foreign to what you do. Look at that religious study. You can take a political science class. Be like, look, man, this is pretty interesting. And everything just changed. You know, the interest, because, again, that's one of the great things about college is that you're meeting other people from different backgrounds and everybody's talking and thinking, and you're doing a whole different kind of process. And you never know until you've been enlightened on a certain subject, if you've never known about it before, how it's going to affect you from an interest level. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just, you know, hell, I can honestly tell you, a year and 2 years ago, I wasn't thinking about, you know, doing a show. And I just like, I could never just shut up talking. Anybody know that about me? Man, it's been heaven sent. So you just never know what can come across you in life. Like, man, this is it and everything. So I think that's one thing. The second thing I want people to just take in consideration going to school, that you may change because of your unknown circumstances and everything. So be kind of open to that. The third thing, and I think this is very, very, very crucial, do a lot of research and analysis to see how that degree fits their personality. Tell you something real funny. Well, I'll share this story. My son my baby boy goes to a little summer camp. A young man I met, he greets you at the door. Real sharp young guy. He goes to UGA. He told me he graduates in a year from now. He's an actuarial science major. Okay. For you guys that aren't familiar with actuarial science majors, you know, me dealing in an insurance agency, in the insurance industry rather, those are the people that actually do a lot of the calculations and back office stuff for insurance companies to, you know, to calculate how much a premium should be. Most of them are Indian, Asian, or African, people with very strong quantitative backgrounds, walking calculators. And what stuck with me with this young man, what I wanted him to understand every day, hey, sir, how you doing? Shaking my hand, giving some love, dapping me up. In those industries, those people are like walking damn drones. They don't speak, they don't do nothing, sit in their cubicles and everything. They just want to work, add up stuff all day on the calculator, and go home. And I was like, son, do you really know what actuaries do? He said, well, yeah, in essence, he knew what they did, but he didn't know what, you know, how the industry works, how the actual job, the work environment is. I said, look, man, you're a smart guy, you're real impersonal, real sociable and everything. I feel your spirit. I don't think that's the thing you need to do, son. I said, because this doesn't fit your personality. You come here every day giving me love and everything like that. I said, son, you haven't done an internship for. He said, no. I said, son, I'm telling you right now, that doesn't fit you.
Right.
Because you're going to go to a job.
And you're going to die.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to hardly speak to you. You might get a hey, or whatever, bye. That's not what you want to do. I understand. And I told myself, look, I'm not telling you like it's a bad thing, but it doesn't fit your personality. I said, your spirit is, you're a greeting person.
It'll kill his spirit. It will kill him just being in that confined area, not being able to, you know, just do what he normally would do because that's his personality.
Exactly.
That would kill his spirit, and then he would be miserable from that point forward.
Exactly. So that's why I want people to kind of take consideration. You know, look at your kid's personality. They're a sociable person. Are they an introvert? They don't like being around people. Are they one of the type of people that likes working in groups? Or the one of the people that want the world of autonomy? I don't want nobody bothering me. Get away from me and stuff like that. Y'all got to take that stuff in consideration. Even with right now, just in grad school, I remember from undergrad to grad school, you maybe had a couple group projects, and they made you do, and, you know, everybody kind of dreaded doing group projects because everybody in the group won't pull their weight. Right. But when you get to grad school, especially from a business side, everything's group-based because the work industry is letting the schools know that, you know, pretty much now everybody works in teams or them cohorts. So you have to be able to do that. And now the demand has shifted for We actually need people that can work and be flexible with working with groups and people and everything. So you start talking about going to the business world. If you're not the type of person that can work with people and deal in kind of on teams and stuff like that, you're going to have a tough time because everything's team-based right now.
That's true.
And that team may not necessarily be in your face. You may have team members all over the country that's working remotely. And again, if you're a child, you looking at them, looking at you, you know your baby, they know themselves. Don't go out here trying to do stuff that you know is going to be probably against their personality. You know, they seek excitement or something like that. Don't, kind of, it's not to discourage them, but try to put them in a position where they can see exactly what their job, because it may be something that would be totally boring to them. So those are 3 things to take in consideration for you and your child prior to going to school in terms of thinking about what they want to go to school for. Number 1, is a degree that's in demand. Number 2, be considerate that things may change and they may change. I recommend everybody having at least 3 degree options. They don't have to be close, but have 3 degree options. Have your primary and maybe 2 secondaries, just in case. Just be kind of free fall thinking about things and everything. Just be kind of receptive to it. And the third thing is do some research and analysis to make sure that degree that they're looking to get fits their personality.
Now, can I add one thing on the degree of having 3?
Absolutely.
If they don't have to be the same, but you would also want to make sure that when you have your 3 options for your degree, that you make sure that you analyze the years that it's gonna take you to finish that degree.
Absolutely.
Because if you the type of person who want to be done in 4 years and you decide to be a doctor, well, that's gonna take 12. You get what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
You gotta also assess how many years it's gonna take you in order to finish that degree before you change or before you decide that making them 1 of your 3. Try to make the years and coincide with what you want when you want to be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, this is Change Your Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Please go to the YouTube channel. We're streaming live now on YouTube primarily, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, like I let everybody know, and I'm trying to put it out as much as possible, beginning September 1st, we're going to shift the Facebook live stream to the Changing Lives YouTube page. We just want to get the numbers up because I had more Facebook friends than I had actually Changing Lives Facebook subscribers. But since those numbers are going up, we're going to shift everything beginning September 1st to the Changing Lives Facebook fan page. But again, go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to it. Make sure you hit that bell on it so you can get all the notifications. Everything's coming up. One other story I wanted to share with everybody before I was getting into it, in regards to your kids getting jobs. There are like 3 main jobs that I think everybody can get, upon graduation, no problem, whatever. And listen, this is not against none of them and everything. It's just me being honest as possible. That's being teachers, police officers, and firemen. You got a degree. And what happens is a lot of times, kids graduate from college, everybody got that excitement, and but when we talk about the reality, a couple months afterwards, you got to start paying on student loans. Pretty much those are 3 surefire jobs you can get.
Right.
Teachers, they always hiring, got a degree, police officer, and firemen. The unfortunate part about it, a lot of times people get hooked in those particular fields. 5, 6 years into it, I really don't want to do this. But they had to get it to pay those loans. So what we're about to go into as far as some of them reasons why you get put in them situations and how to avoid it. Because what you don't want to have happen is, and it happens far too often, people put themselves in positions because they figure like, I got to get these bills paid. And I understand that. But when you put yourself in that situation, then you get stuck. You mess around, say you get married, you buy a house, you buy a car, have a baby or something like that. Now you're like, I got to keep this employment. I can't kind of go what I went to school for, what I was dreaming of doing and everything. And we really want you to avoid getting hooked there. Like I said, those are 3 main fields. I would really say most people to get into them, they're coming out of college, really don't want to do it. It's just, it's there. And a lot of time it comes down to really they don't have a good blueprint on how to get into the position where they're working, what they went to school for. And one of the main reasons I want to just even make this show because we're having so many people, especially African American graduates, people coming out of school, and for different reasons they can't get employment. And I want to address some of them because I think people are doing too much talking instead of enough doing to get themselves there and everything. So that's been the whole gist of this show. So while we're getting started, what I want to just bring up is the reasons people don't get a job. Okay? I'm going to give you 3 solid reasons why I feel like people, kids don't get a job when they finish school. The first being, when they go to school, they got a plan to graduate, but they don't have a damn plan to get hired.
Exactly.
You know what's funny? If you think about it, when you see a lot of your friends and stuff posting, great, this is a great time and everything. My baby finna graduate in December. My baby graduating in May. My baby graduating in July, or whatever they put in the graduation dates on there. But they never saying what. They start working at this company, in August, September, December, whatever. Mm-hmm. The focus be so much on getting there and graduating, getting a degree, and it's less a focus on what they're gonna do upon it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Exactly. And that emphasis is never there. It just seems like everybody assume that this degree is a magic genie, ain't gonna give them a damn job. And I just think that if you go into a situation with that plan, especially that thought process in mind, I'm going here to get this degree, but also it's like they go in conjunction with each other. Both of them running at the same time. Mm-hmm. I got my graduation plan. I also have my employment plan. Mm-hmm. Your thought process has to be like that from day damn one that your child starts school. Okay? Mm-hmm. Again, take consideration what we talked about before. They're all going to have different interests. Things may change. They may have that degree change, but it's still that reshuffles and right then and there. You're looking about what I want to go to school for when I'm graduating, but I'm also making a plan going simultaneously when I'm going to try to get hired upon graduation.
And everything you do from that point forward is for that purpose.
Yeah.
It's for to obtain whatever now I ain't gonna say job, I'm say career that you think that you are going for once you graduate. Because if you don't plan for that the first year within your college time, by the second year you're gonna be confused because you haven't done anything in order to solidify that purpose of what you're trying to do when you graduate, because you haven't done it, you haven't researched anything, you haven't looked into any companies that may do what you're looking to do. You may not, you may want to relocate, you may not want to stay around mom and them. Okay, what companies do, it's everything you do from day one, or not say day one, let's say month one when you get into college is working towards your career. Yeah, people don't realize that.
People don't realize that. You want to know why? Because people think they got more time than what they have.
Yeah. And
when you sit here and say, well, you got 4 years to graduate, you also got 4 years to get a job, bullshit. You don't know what's going to happen in terms of each year, what's going to hold you up. Mm-hmm. They may only have a certain company that may offer certain internships or work opportunities during your sophomore or freshman year, and they don't do it for a year or two. They may do it every 2 years. Mm-hmm. They may just offer regional in certain areas. You don't know when you take certain classes, it's going to be a buzzsaw. Whereas, look, I'm planning on taking this internship next semester, but then you got to deal with Professor Johnson. Mm. Professor Johnson is a retired Marine gunnery sergeant, and he hailed from the door. There's nowhere in the world you're going to be able to take Professor Johnson class and also the internship. So don't be putting off for tomorrow what you can do today. And I know people have heard it a million times, but that's so serious about that. People just look at it like, hey, I got all this time, got to do it. That was one of the hardest things I had to get my son to understand when he first got to college. And I really had to just focus on that with my other kids to understand that in his mind, you go the good part about college is you got this freedom and you got this autonomy, you got this whatever to do, whatever. The bad part is what? You got this freedom and all this autonomy. And he take a class on Monday, his ass thinking he got a week to turn the assignment in for the next class. He ain't even thinking about, I said, son, you think you got 7 days. Bro, you ain't got up for 2 hours. What you mean I got 2 hours? I said, you got other classes during the week, they're going to be an hour, 2.5. You already have 3 football meetings a day, 2 or 3 practices a day. You got a game, and then right after the game that next morning, you got film study, workouts, and treatments. I said, you really got 2 hours. And he's sitting there thinking like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, like I said, being unrealistic. And, a lot of times parents, if the parent ain't been in school, they don't really understand that. Mm-hmm. And if a parent, I didn't play any kind of college sports, so I didn't understand, I didn't think about it until somebody brought it to my attention, how condensed his schedule is. It's he was very structured, but
it's condensed.
Yeah, exactly. He had so many obligations that didn't have to do. I mean, obligation with football, they had nothing to do with school. It took away from a lot of stuff. So that's one thing I want people to kind of be considerate of. You know, go to school with that damn plan. Go to school. You're not just a graduation date. You got to be simultaneously working on that higher date. Okay. The second thing is we talking about reason why kids can't get a job. No damn connections whatsoever. What do I mean by no connections? Number one, you know, people don't network. God forbid your kids, and we talking about even with African Americans, no kind of networking, going out, speaking to anybody, nothing. Don't know anybody or anything. You know, so they go to school. They know certain family members that they have high regard for, esteem, that went to college and working a good job, but they ain't realizing they have no connections whatsoever. Not familiar with networking, not comfortable networking, nowhere near comfortable dealing with strangers or anything like that, and trying to do it. And it's easy to tell kids or tell a person, go network. Mom and dad ain't been doing the shit. They ain't taught you. Yeah, you've never really seen it.
You have to be adaptable. You can be an introvert, but you have to know that when it's time to step out that shell, you got to step out of it, and then you go back in it when it's necessary. But a good, and I never was one, but I was friends with one. Is Greeks. They are good networkers.
Yeah,
because they always know somebody else that knows somebody else that knows somebody else.
Oh, absolutely.
And the Greeks are always. And I was friends with them. I never joined. I almost did, but I didn't. But but they are good networkers. They for some reason their network is very strong, and in order to just get into their circle, you have to be a certain type of way.
Yeah.
So those are good. I mean, even parties on campus are good.
Well, I want to jump up. We don't want to go to our solutions yet.
Oh, okay.
We talking about the reasons. Now you good? We talking about the reasons. Let's say
forget what I just said.
No connections whatsoever and everything. And you know, unfortunately, a lot of times when kids get to college, they don't really start getting serious about networking and things their senior year, because they know it's coming up, and now they want to go on an internship, and now they want to do something, and they realize they don't really know anybody, you know, just to do that. And then I just say this from personal experience, some of the stuff I went through with my son, and I had to kind of get him to understand people. And this for y'all, you adults and parents out there. You got to try to be getting your network strong to help your kids, because a lot of times it's easy to say, well, you know, some of the white kids, the mom and dads help them out and something like that, and, you know, they know this person. But shit, you need to go on and start getting your network to help your babies out. Help yourself out. And because a lot of times kids get out of school, they see people that especially their parents and family members, why no Uncle Charlie been working at, 30 years and stuff like that. You know, I can talk to him, and they be like, "Yeah, I know the plant manager, I know the CEO." And you get out of school, you realize they don't know a damn person. And this is what people gotta understand, okay? This is where everybody get lost at. You know what, Lab? Folks that have been working at a job for a long time, or supervisors. People say they've been working at Ford or Delta 20 years,
right? Or
they're supervisors. They get employees totally damn confused with decision makers.
Yeah,
that's like an eye opener for a lot of folks. Like, yeah, I know you've been out there, the plant 20 years. You're working out there at the counter all them years and stuff like that. They know the CEO, they know the boss and everything like that. But they say good morning, but they don't have that kind of relationship where they can get have any kind of influence, so they can make a sound decision.
Right.
And that was one I had to get my son. Like, look here, son, you need to listen to me.
Right.
You talking to these folks, they don't know no damn decision makers. They giving they giving you the wrong advice and stuff, and that's what people got. A lot of folk got confused. Somebody that works somewhere, and or maybe in charge of damn 4 or 5 people, they ain't got shit to do with them being any kind of influencer or decision maker.
Right.
Can you make a phone call and say, can you bring my son in for an interview? Or can better yet, hey, my son, good kid, this, that, and that. Hey, D, you're a good guy. We got him. He just need to pass this test. Yeah. We got him on. Mm-hmm. That's totally different. Right. As opposed, somebody, well, let me see. You just talking a month ago. Been there 20, 30 years, ain't got no damn pool, no network whatsoever. Right. A lot of people got those things confused. Because somebody been there so long. They been there a long time. They been working. They know the man. They even done took a picture with the man. You see it on Facebook. But can they actually call him? Shit, man don't know the man.
Who was this when you called? Who is this?
Excuse me, what company you say you work for? You work for us, what? Hey, but there's no kind of influence and power that. So that's one thing I think a lot of people got, unrealistic about it. Where they look at, somebody that's been somewhere or a supervisor.
Yeah.
They're still far down the totem pole. They're no kind of influence of the decision maker with that. And those are the three reasons why, I feel like a lot of kids can't find employment. Number one, now again, you have a lot of things that fall from under those three, but I think those are the three basic reasons. Because number one, they go into school with the thought process about going to graduate, but they don't necessarily have a plan on how to get hired or a date, with doing that. Second, they don't have any connections. They don't know anybody. They haven't been instilled with a database of people that can help them and everything. So they're, kind of in a bad spot because now they're just going to people that's close to them, family and friends. And unfortunately, they don't know anybody either. So
I don't think you touched on that third one though.
That third
unless
one?
I missed it.
Oh Lord, I'm about to move too fast. That's why you the man, Lab.
Yeah.
That third one also is people really don't know what the degree really does. And what I mean by what a degree really does, people look at it. There are so many. When people get degrees, they look at like, hey, I want to be a sociology major, history major, not necessarily knowing, what are the options from that degree. You can get you like a degree in sociology. You may can only be a teacher or a caseworker, and even then you might have to get credentials on top of that. You get a history degree. You may can only be a teacher. You may have some historian opportunities, or you may have just forced to go to some secondary school like law school or something like that. A lot of times with people, when I talk about people don't understand what that degree does, say somebody gets like a business degree. And when we look at a business degree is not like your what we call your advanced business degrees. Advanced business degrees being accounting, finance, decision science, real estate, risk management. Those kind of degrees, those advanced business degrees, you can do those and go down. You can even do operation and business management. With a business degree, you can only do what? Business management. And you got to understand when you're getting some of these degrees, what's the opportunities with doing that. And a lot of times people see it, and sometimes depending on interest level, when they get to school, it may have been kind of a little difficult for them, so they had to take this program so they can stay in school, keep don't lose certain credit hours, stay eligible, whatever. And when they get those degrees, they really didn't understand what they were getting and what opportunities come from that. So that's one of the things, going back with doing that research and stuff. But that's what hurt a lot of students because they get certain degrees and they don't even understand what can be done with those degrees.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's the third thing. Man, Lab, I'm moving too fast.
I wanted to I don't think you hit number 3, but go ahead.
But yeah, those are the three reasons why a lot of kids can't get a job because they haven't really taken care of those three things. And one being they go to school with a graduation date in mind, but not a hire date. Okay. The second thing is they have no connections. They don't know anybody from a family or something like that. And we're not knocking nobody. We just, bringing awareness to this, so students and parents can both get on top of this. If you see this thing coming, they have no connections, no network, no database or anything that they've been trying to work on or build upon over time. And the third one being they don't really understand what that degree really does, how it's leveraged out. It's a degree you only do a certain amount of things, or it's a degree where you can do a lot of things that can fall up under that umbrella. And I don't think a lot of students spend time to kind of find that out and everything. So those are three things. Again, this is Deonte Bird. Our show is Changing Lives. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to it. So right now, brother, I'm finna give solutions.
Okay.
I done chimed on it and everything. Before I get to solutions, like I said, going back to what a lot of people were saying and stuff like the living wages, opportunity discriminations. Let me say this before I get my solutions. Everybody know one of the main things I'm always saying is what? Control your controllables. Shit that you can't control, you don't need to hop on that. You be aware of it, but you just hopping on it. We can sit here and talk about you being discriminated on. It's going to happen. Okay, cool. So you still got to plan around that. We know that sometimes, the opportunities, the monies and stuff like that is in certain areas, it is. We got to be aware of and plan against it. Mm-hmm. If you know that the opportunity is not in particular there, go where they are. Right. If you know these people don't like you, they're going to discriminate you work at, go somewhere else. It's going to happen. Control your controllables. Focus less on what you can't do or what's stopping you from trying to do what you need to do, and focus on what you can do. Mm-hmm. It's not about being fair or unfair. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. The time you spending griping or talking about what you can't do or these people holding you back, taking away from the energy you can be fixing on what you can do. That's true. I'm not saying people ain't gonna discriminate you. I ain't saying people ain't gonna hate on you. I ain't saying people not gonna be unfair with you. Of course it happens. Mm-hmm. But shit, what you gonna do? Keep talking about it? You still gotta eat.
Still gotta eat.
Okay. Gotta eat. But it's still people come to this country, can't speak a lick of damn English, opening up gas stations, beauty salons, and all kind of stuff, regardless of the help, they doing it. And we be here all these years, all these generations, and still don't take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. So keep in mind, it ain't got to be a fair race, just as long as you get in the race. All right? I don't give a damn if they got a head start. You start a race with your arm tied up behind your back. You on your back when the gun go up. I don't care. At the end of the day, just run your race and cross the finish line, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's go into these solutions. Number 1, plan. I say again, plan. I think every student should go to college with a blueprint of how they want to go about everything. Mm-hmm. Now, what's a blueprint? Blueprint is a plan of action, how to, you want different steps to fall into place, or how you want the framework to fall in place. The key word with that is what? Plan. We know plans what? Change. Okay? Have that plan, what we talked about before a couple weeks ago, the contingency plan, we did a lot of times in the military. Your plan B, plan C. Have that set in place with your plan, because there are things going to change from a market standpoint as far as people, jobs wanting that degree or not, certain certifications that may come along, certain, areas you may go to. So have them contingency plans set in place so you make certain adjustments and changes to it. But go into school with a plan of action on how you're going to go about everything. Mm-hmm. From year 1, I'm going to do this. Year 2, I'm going to do this. Year 3, I'm going to do this. And this is going in conjunction with just your regular studying and going. Okay, this is my plan. This is the degree program I'm in, and this is my plan of action for me to be hired upon graduation. That's from the damn day your kid step into that damn college. Right. Don't you try to do this shit your kid senior year.
You're gonna be pleasantly shocked.
Yeah. Especially if you fall into some of them 3 reasons why they not. Mm-hmm. You ain't got no connections. You don't know anybody. You have no real idea what they getting a degree in, and y'all have not sit in. They don't kind of blueprint or anything. Sit there and just make that plan. And as a parent, hey, revisit it with them. And as a parent, if you're not familiar with, you haven't been to school, you're not familiar with what they're going to school for, hey, put it on your kid. Call your counselor, son. Mm-hmm. Find some mentors. Do this. Put all this shit on them.
Yeah.
Put it on them.
Responsibility too.
Absolutely. Put it on them. You got to do it. The second thing is network. This going back with my brother Lab, man. Lab all on it, man. I don't know if he's a Dalai Lama or what. Just with jumping with the Greeks and everything. But that's one network. Join these organizations, meet with these people. And I'm going to say this. I think kids should be interning and volunteering from the beginning of their freshman year. Mm-hmm. The beginning of their freshman year. To kind of, because you want to go to school for this particular subject, that intern is going to let you know early, it is some stuff you want to do. Mm-hmm. What kind of commitment you need. What kind of work environment. How is it and stuff. From their freshman year. And I'm not saying they got, it could be in different variance levels and everything, but it's something the kid need to be trying to get some kind of experience or taste of what they're going to school for, from, like I say, intern and volunteering, just seeing how it is soon they hit school. Like Lab said, joining certain organizations and groups while in school. Mm-hmm. Networking, meet with these other folks, certain student unions, certain different kind, future lawyers of America, future doctors of America, future business leaders of America. Join those groups. Mm-hmm. Join those, join your fraternities, different organizations. Push. Your child should be constantly trying to meet with influencers and decision makers in these companies or organizations to see, to build a network base. They grown. They not children no more. They shouldn't be afraid of talking to strangers. Okay?
I'm giving one more, something that
Uh-huh.
they gonna like.
Uh-huh.
Go to some of these campus parties. Because like you said when we talked about cigar bars, you never know who you're going to meet at the campus party.
Absolutely.
But it gets your face out there, so where if you go to a couple of them, and this is just being social, you go to a couple of them, people like, oh, I know, that's Lad right there. I seen him at such and such party. You know,
Absolutely.
Because your face is familiar. They're not going to talk to people and network with people that they have not seen before.
Absolutely.
So if you've been out there, you go out there, even if you don't volunteer or whatever, but you got to get your face and be seen somewhere doing something for people to notice you. That's just campus life.
See, the good part of what you're saying is you can't assume that people just gonna give you opportunity they don't know you. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is one of the upcoming shows we got to talk about. Business is all about relationships and people knowing you're a good guy, you're a cool person. So just quick they can know you're a bad person, you crazy as hell. Mm-hmm. You can't assume that you're gonna get certain opportunities just because you went there. I got a degree, I can't find no job. Shit, why am I hiring you? They went to school all these years. No, you have to go out here and meet people. And if you have a personality where you're not really comfortable with talking to folks and stuff like that, you got to start somewhere to get over those inhibitions of talking to folks. So you got to your child got to be knowing like, look, I understand you don't really like going here. You don't really like talking in front of groups or doing this kind of stuff. But for you to get what you want, you got to get past that shit. Mm-hmm. So you got to ask yourself that question. Is my fear of talking in front of groups or my fear of talking to strangers greater than my want to get this job? Exactly. That's your answer right then and there. Okay? So that's one of the things I think a lot of times people need to get past. The third thing is, and I think this is very, very, very important, and I remember this just with a lot of friends of mine when folks finished in school, and even with a lot of kids right now coming out of school, my son included, you got to be flexible with your options. People think they way more damn marketable than what they are, you know, and everything. I think you got to be realistic, and it goes from this is even for the person that's just getting out of college, the person that's working in the workforce now, or whatever. You got to be realistic, you know, what you bring to the table. You know, coming out, you got to go do some dirt work. You got to start from the floor, coming in and everything. You know, just like some people that have been working at a job for a certain amount of years, and they feel like they should be making more money. It's one thing I touched on before with that adding value. If an employer or organization feels that you can add value, what's adding value? Bringing them more money. Mm-hmm. If they feel like you can bring them more money, they'll pay you accordingly because you're going to make them money. But if you come in there doing the same shit that I can give 30, 40 other people to do it, even though you might be a little fast, whatever, ain't no big deal. That's the thing about it. You got to be realistic what you come to the table with. Are you a person that coming in with years of experience that can make some differences? Are you coming in with new ideas that can make them more efficient, make them save money, stuff to make them grow, to make them more money? What do you come in with? Mm-hmm. What sets you apart? If you're coming in with the same, if kid coming out of college, and what happens when a kid go on college interview? They walk into the room, they got 40, 50, maybe 100 people going for same one or two jobs.
Same job. And
they come down to one thing, how good can your kids sell themselves? What differentiates them from the other kids in the room? And if they cannot articulate and sell why, shit, they ain't going to get it.
Exactly.
But that's how the world go, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you got to be realistic, too. Like I said, is the opportunity we talked about before, is the opportunities for the degree or job that you want to get, are they around? You might got to move to California. You might got to move to South Dakota. You know, I know they had that big influx of the oil digging and stuff. And, you know, that's
South Dakota.
Hey, listen, you might relocate up there and stuff like that. Again, we were talking about the marine biologists and stuff like that. You got to work in certain areas where you know it's going to be water. You know, and be honest about that. Instead of sitting there, you know, griping about what you can't do, focus more on what you can do, because the world rewards people that goes out and makes their own path. Mm-hmm. If you sit here and just come, well, I can't get this, I can't get that, you know, again, and it doesn't mean that because you didn't be proactive or you didn't network or you didn't plan in college that you're not going to get employment. But what it does mean is shit going to be more difficult if you don't have a network or a family that can actually refer you or put you in that kind of position.
And you may have to settle at that point.
Exactly.
It may become a time where you squeeze and you got to settle, and then you in a job that you really don't like. And don't get me wrong, that happens after college and during life itself in general. Mm-hmm. But if you can plant yourself early after college, you know, jobs, people get laid off all the time. So that's not like this saying that oh, if you do this right now, you're going to have a job forever. That's not the case. But it makes for a better today.
Yeah. And like I said, again, if you do everything we discussed, do they guarantee you're going to have you a job after graduation? No, but I think it give you a whole lot better chance to do it instead of just trying to talk to people your junior, senior year, meet folks. You haven't tried to really go out. I mean, aggressively. I can't stress it enough. Try to grow your database and network. Try to talk to meet as many decision makers and influencers as possible. Like I said, this third thing we talking about being flexible. A lot of kids ain't realistic. Now you can't make that kind of money right now, and son, you got to do this little uncomfortable work and stuff like that. Yeah. Cut your teeth on this.
Of money right off the bat.
It's not gonna happen. And you're not from a family tree or a lineage that can put you in a situation. What's funny? I remember when Chelsea Clinton graduated from Columbia University, and she got hired in a foreign firm in New York, and they start off at $200,000 a year. People are like, that's crazy. She the president's daughter, this, that, and that. People are taking two things into consideration. Well, number one, yeah, she is the president's daughter and everything, but again, the girl did graduate from Columbia University. Most of them firms, depending on what your degree is, they're going to pay that kind of money. And again, she's probably most of her life been rubbing elbows with some of the main decision makers, influencers in the world.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. If that's probably extreme example you're looking at Chelsea Clinton in terms of that, but also the blueprint's still the same. If you aggressively seek to try to grow your database, meet people, make a plan about going about everything, and also be realistic about what you bring to the table. Because again, if you say you want big money, go get some big money skill sets. While you're in college, you might can go get you some extra certifications. You do an intern here and now, you already got it. One of my buddies, one of my best friends, he's the HR director for one of the counties here in Atlanta. He told me something 20 years ago that stuck with me the whole time. He said, Poochie, you only have to do something once to get experience. That stuck with me. He's an HR director. And he told me, he said, Poochie, you only got to do something one time to get experience with it.
Right.
So at the end of the day, if you sat here and done certain things, you just got to do it one time to get experience with it. Nobody asked how to death for your experience, but you just had to do it one time to get experience. Exactly. So again, make sure your child has that blueprint in place. They're aggressively trying to build a networking database, aggressively meeting people. Not just meeting people. Like we talked before, meet decision makers and influencers, not your Uncle Charlie done worked 30, 40 years. Man, that was a rude awakening for my son. I kept trying to tell him, hey, but look, you need to make sure you're talking to people, you don't want to listen to me. I'm taking stuff you don't want to hear, but listen, you need to meet decision makers, and also just be realistic what it brings to the table, and not just being stopping. Well, I don't know this, I don't know that, I ain't got that experience. Go all out trying to get that experience in some of the things. Like I said, just doing it one time. So I think if you kind of follow the path with those solutions that I just gave you and everything, I think you'll be in a whole lot better situation for your child, your students coming out of college. They'll be in a better situation than most kids actually that didn't do it. So again, our show tonight was, why can't my child find a job after college? We went against some of the things you need to be thinking about prior to going to college, some of the things, the reasons why they can't get employment, and we also gave solutions to help them, during their time in college, to help them acquire a job and get a great career that they went to school for upon graduation. So I hope they helped you guys with that information. Again, it's I appreciate that. Again, this is Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burton. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Right now, I want to go over my tip for the week. My tip for the week is, and everybody knows, I grew up in Atlanta on the west side, over our Bankhead Highway. And one of the hot topics, we had Harper Day this past weekend. I ain't even bring that up, man. We partied, Lord. Charles Lincoln Harper High School, 1964 through 1995, 31 years on that field, 5,000 people strong.
What?
Partying for 12 hours all day, July.
We were going to come through, but we had an interview, right?
Yeah.
And the interview then end to like 4:35, like 4:35 o'clock. And then we was like, we going to go. And then first thing we said was, Poochie said, don't come out there.
Well, you know,
don't come out there too late because you ain't gonna be able to get in no parking space. I said, well, we ain't going.
And I ain't gonna say that wouldn't have been true and everything, but I wish you would have came because we was probably at our third bottle of Crown then, baby. So we had a good time. But to kind of just do that, you know, you see friends you've seen in years, and like I said, you talking about 1964 to 1995, so you got a lot of people from all different eras talking. But one thing I was, you know, I just want to bring on the tip. A lot of people talking about from the neighborhood, just gentrification. And I got my own views of gentrification. I understand how it negatively impacts people, but I think a lot of times what happens with gentrification, I don't think I'm excluding from that, is your people that are plus 60 years old, definitely in their 70s and 80s, retirement on fixed incomes and everything. But most of the times, even with them, I don't even think they even got to pay property taxes. I think they kind of grandfathered in. You got restrictions. I mean, their homestead exemption is damn cheaper, you know, with doing that. But most of the time, people like with gentrification, these white folks came and took all this stuff out. And I think that's BS. And I'm just tell you why I say I think that's BS is because what I know personally, when we start talking about gentrification, people ain't going, especially us in the black community, we ain't going to none of these damn city council meetings. Mm-hmm. On the west side, people ain't going to their NPU, neighborhood planning unit meetings. They're not going to their county commissioners. They don't even know who they damn local, county, and state representatives are, or even federal representatives or anything. Straight damn reactionary. So you see
they
this.
Don't even know who the local activists in their neighborhood is that might can get them to that person.
Don't
Because
even
there's always one.
Well, don't even give a damn.
Right.
Until next thing you know, they building this place, they building that place, they squeezing inside, squeezing in. Stop being damn reactionary. Put the onus on it. Because I'm gonna tell you something funny. You know, just right down now, like when I'm out there in Jonesboro, you go to them city council or meetings and stuff like that, you see a room full of white people that's in a county probably predominantly black. Right. And all these white people over there, and they're saying yay, nay, Nixon, all kind of different businesses won't come into the community. And they saying, no, it can't come here, can't be there. But you going to, on the west side, going to those same MPU unit meetings that's right at the lowest level, where you can start with people in the community on those boards, and you got 2 or 3 damn people. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was trying to get the person care home, it's about 15, 16 years ago over there, you know, it was against code and everything, had to go to meet with the units and stuff. Man, there probably 2 or 3 damn people in there. Just we're doing it. And it's just going back, we start talking about gentrification and stuff like that. Stop being damn reactionary. Mm-hmm. Find out what the hell going on. Stuff is popping off. They got the, we put in the paper today, some condos going up on Bankhead, $400,000. People like, look at this, look at that. They put those damn bids and stuff like that in years ago. They didn't just pop up.
They have to put up planning stuff on boards around your neighborhood to let you know that zoning is changing. They have to put up zoning, and then they'll put up a date of the meeting. September 12th is going to be a meeting for zoning change in this area, 9 o'clock. So they let you know, even when they do beer and liquor stores, all that, they let you know that when the meeting is going to be, because they have to do that. Mm-hmm. By law, they have to put up, let you know that the zoning meeting is going to happen. We may zone this to be a gas station.
Absolutely.
And you may not want it to be a gas station, so come to this meeting and tell us about it.
Absolutely. Went to it personally. See, and this is what people got to take into I don't care if I hurt no feelings or not. They're not sneaking up and backdooring you with stuff, but what they are doing is banking on your ass not coming, not being proactive, not being knowledgeable what's going on in your neighborhood. So stop all the damn whining and get involved. Know what's going on. You don't have to turn to a damn politician, but care what's going on in your community.
Everybody has a phone. You can go on fultoncounty.gov or one of them, and they have the information on their websites. 99% of the time they have the information on there. While you surfing Instagram, type up and say, oh, I just saw this board. Let me see when this meeting and see if I get about 5 or 6 of my friends to go over there with me. Because there's ways to get this information. And I understand, and don't get me wrong, I see both sides of the coin. I understand that it may be pushing out older, and the only problem I have is with the older folks who's been there for 60 and 50 years that's getting pushed out because they can't afford the taxes on the house because they're on a fixed income.
Yeah.
Those people I get. But I don't get people who may be younger, who may inherited the house from their parents, are not paying tax on, they're not doing anything to fix up that area, but not going to these meetings so they won't be squeezed out. You have to do that.
Totally get that. Now, with that said, I know it's not in every county, not in every local municipality. Most have things set in place where if you're a certain age, they kind of almost damn Nixon, you're at bare minimum with paying the property taxes. Like, it's not going to go somebody 60, 70 years old have to go there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially you already got your homestead exemption, then you start going to senior citizen exemption. It doesn't go from 0 to 100 like that.
Right.
You know, and everything. And that's one thing with that. I just think the vast majority of us are saying stuff like that because we've lost our family home, may have been through, especially a lot of people. You start talking about that. I say 55 to 35 people that grew up probably in the 90s and 80s because of drugs or different things like that have lost family homes and just it ain't there no more. And now they just pissed off this, that, and that, and everything. But still, we going back into it. Even if you know you have some, you know about certain things that can affect you. The elder, like I said, the elder is a touchy subject. But I think even with that, they have a lot of programs in place. But again, do they know about it and stuff like that? No, a lot of times because they may be stuck. And I think that's where the governments have to come in, you know, and do a better job with kind of reaching out to them and letting them know because they do mostly have programs in place. The flip side of it is I don't necessarily know. I don't want to say that's not a majority, but I don't think that's the vast majority that are damn losing. I think the vast majority just people our age, and I'm talking anywhere like say that 55 to 35, they just ain't damn being proactive. How they build this?
Even forget the elderly folks, but even with the 55 and 35, there's so many of us over there. If we go to them zoning meetings, that's gonna help the elderly folks anyway because we're speaking our voice. We're giving them the information that we want, so therefore it's gonna help them anyway. They don't have to come to the meeting because it's 100 of us already at the meeting.
Yeah,
and we all have the same idea.
Yeah. Because, see, the thing of it is, going and arguing and protesting when they finna get ready to throw this high-rise up, it's too damn late. Because they went through all the zoning planning, they done paid all that kind of stuff. So you too damn late. Yeah, it should have been there a year and a half, 2 years ago when they brought the plans before everything. So, again, be proactive and not reactionary. That's my challenge to everybody. Lastly, in conclusion with the show, we're talking about bringing up a subject about why my child can't get a job. I just want to challenge parents to put the charge on your kids to control their own destiny. Okay? I want you to put the pressure on your kids where we talk about being proactive as possible to make sure they're creating opportunities for themselves. Okay? I think far too often we be so proud about our kids going to school and going and seeking out certain things. It's like we take our foot off of them. Don't just go to school. Still excel like your ass did in high school to get there. And upon even graduation, keep excelling to make, reach new heights and, take on new endeavors upon being an adult. Don't just stop when they leave your house. And that's why I want to challenge our parents to put that charge on your kid to still do as much as they can and create your own opportunities. Inform your own destiny. Don't get out here talking about, well, white man won't hire, that we can't get this, that. Shit, do your own damn thing. You bright, you educated. Make your own way. Make your own path. Put yourself in a position where you're adding value to yourself. Stop sitting there, again, complaining about what you can't do and focus what you can do. You're going to get hated on. You're going to get discriminated. You're going to have some unfair stuff happen to you. And that's called life. It's what you do upon that. If you're going to keep down complaining and whining about what happened to you, or you're going to say, look, I learned from that. That shit ain't going to happen no more. And if it happen again, I know how to handle it. And I know how to create my own path so I don't have to be worried about that stuff no more. So that's a challenge to all you parents, going forward. Hey, listen, this is Deonte Bird, and our show is Changing Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Bird. Hope you enjoyed our show tonight where we talked about why my child can't get a job after college. Please, please, please tell everybody about the show. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. The subscribers and the viewers have been growing each month, and I really appreciate you guys for all the support. Make sure you tune in to us next week. And as always, love you guys. Take care.